completed the presentation just at 7:30, and I started at around 4 o'clock in the evening. It's almost 3 hours. I have been working on it, and then at least I presentation of the love, peace, and water. Of course, my background is basically an ENT surgeon, and with my experience in stem cell therapy, and now in the past 6 years with epigenetic wellness, it's been a very beautiful journey because I see the happiness in the face of the parents, of the patients, of the people who walk in, because they get a hope that there's something we can do. Now, on one side, aware that there is totally a beautiful people down there who are treating diseases. Now, that's what I was also doing the same thing, because treating a disease is an art, and finding out the diagnosis, finding out the disease, how it happens a little bit, and then we go into the treatment module. This is what I was thinking was a fantastic journey, and I was in it for almost, I would say, around 25 years. And then later on, slowly, when I started looking into a wider spectrum of health and awareness, that's when the epigenetic came in. But epigenetic has been there in the world. People have been speaking about it since 2006, I think, because it's a long time. But what only thing is, when the Europeans and the West have been talking about it, the Asians are still not received those information, and that's how we were a little ignorant. But today, I would say, as of 2022, people do know there is something called epigenetic wellness, and then we are working on at the cellular level. Now, very simple is what we need to understand in our basic day-to-day life. This is called the wisdom of health. Now, it all begins, it can be for anybody. We all need to uh, basically search for within to be healthy. That means we need to see how healthy. Just for example, if you can look into your own self and then find out, is my liver healthy? What's the liver going to speak and tell me? And what's the kidney going to tell me? What's your lungs going to tell me? What's your intestines going to speak to you? And what your brain is going to speak to you, and what your heart is going to speak to you. Most of us don't even spend time for our own self, looking at our own body and our own necessities. Now, for this, what you need to have is, you definitely need to have a little bit of desire that I need to be healthy. But if you're having a desire, it's just not enough. What you need to do is, you need to put it into action. And then, of course, once you put it into an action, then definitely you will get some information. Like, for example, yesterday we would have seen that in the Terrorist group, they've just put a banner saying that today, 8 to 9, Dr. Prabhu is going to speak on love, peace, and water. So what happened is, you had a desire. Yeah, this guy, doctor, what is he going to speak tomorrow? There is a desire you created. But at the end of the day, when you create a desire, you need to put an action, right? That's what you did today now with the 76 people around here. What they have done, they came inside, logged in, and then now watching this particular Zoom meeting program. So that have put in action. Now, once you put an action, at the end of the hour, this 1 hour talk, what is that you're going to get is, you're going to get some knowledge. Basically, it's the knowledge, whatever I experience, I'm going to imparting to you, or I'm sharing to you. It's all practically, I have picked it up, and then I have worked on it, and then I feel that it can be utilized in a much more sensible manner, so that it becomes easy for you. You don't need to go into a detailed picking up. Like, for example, you want to buy a electric bulb, or a tube light, or a bulb. You don't go into the knowledge of how the bulb is manufactured. What's the tungsten, what exactly it does. All these we don't do, right? We just pay the money, pick the bulb, come and fix the bulb, and switch it on. So that's the way we human beings have been trained to do that. But in the same way, what happens is, there are certain things we don't need to go too deep inside, because you go too deep inside, you are not going to get to the place where what you need to. At the end of the day, you see, if you're going to go and find out just for a bulb. If you're going to ask the shopkeeper, I really want to see the quality of the bulb, whether it is good or not, can you switch on the bulb and see? Of course he will switch on the bulb, it'll be on. But when the light is burning bright, would you be able to ask him how bright is the light? Would you be able to justify that the brightness is? The shopkeeper will say, hey, look, whether you want to buy it or not, it's up to you. You want to buy, take it, otherwise go away. Because the moment you start going in too deep into that particular products, this one, they will not even entertain you. They will just say, you want to buy, take it. Because the whatever research has been to be done has been done by the company, and then they are selling it. So in the same way, many times we are supposed to pick up things and then we need to work on it. Of course, we need to work on it, but there are certain things we need to apply the knowledge, whatever we pick it up. Practically, we need to do is, for example, see, 1,000 people come and talk to you about terahertz water. They can talk about ionized water. They can talk about hydrogen water. They can talk about filtered water. They can talk about energized water. They can talk about anything under the sun. Now, what you need to do, you need to first of all get the information of the product, whatever, or the water, what they are talking. Just get the information first, number one. Number two, what you need to do is you need to decide whether that particular water or any product, will it be suitable for you? But many times we won't know whether it is going to be suitable for us or not. For the reason is, unless you try, how will you know? So here what happens, you need to get into practical. Practical is what you can always tell the person, okay, give me some maybe 5 liters of water or 10 liters of water. Pick the water first. Now you drink and see. Now for all the situation here, you want to really try, you can go and try the ionized water, hydrogen water, terahertz water. You can go and try. There is nothing wrong in it. We all have our own decision making. You can go and try. But at the end of the day, it's you who have to decide which would be the ideal one for you. So what happens is, in my journey of 33 years in my medical profession, I still feel that I'm still learning and learning and learning. And I feel it's still not ending, And every time for me to sit for the terahertz Zoom meetings, you wouldn't believe for the 3 to 4 hours, the amount of time I sit and then prepare the slides, pick up the information. I need to correlate, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to give a haphazard presentation and then give you the information, you will get confused. So I need to correlate. I need to go in a pace where you understand. Now this is another beautiful learning process which I am going through. Even though 62 episodes has been done, but still every episode for me is a new learning process. So when I take up that as a learning process, life becomes so beautiful, and then I enjoy this beautiful journey. And at the end of the day, what happens? At the end of that 1 hour of this, I feel so blissful. What I done? I'm filled with a lot of happiness within there. There is a lot of peace within me. It automatically happens. The moment it happens, and tonight you just imagine, I just go and lie down and I'll sleep off. That's it. So that means the whole beautiful process becomes peaceful when we start doing things in a passionate manner, and then we pick up the information and we take responsibility for whatever we are doing. Saying that the need of the hour for today. Now, why is that we need a lot of love? Because as you see today, there are situation which is very, very jittery around the world happening, and there's a lot of situations which looks unfavorable when it comes up to the human relation. So what I did was, let us assume that the love and peace, of course, these two go hand in hand, because when you have love, automatically you will have peace, and then when you have peace, of course, you will be exhibiting your love. These two will play a very important role. But what has water to do with this two things is something very beautiful, because without water, your cells will not be able to function. So water plays such an important role that for you to have good hydration, you need to have the right properties of water. Now, that is where the beautiful terahertz mechanism, or the terahertz resonated water, comes into a play. Now, you are looking at the world today, the world is fully shattered, divided, separated, alienated. We are. And there's one country fighting and against another country, one neighbor fighting with another neighbor, and there is a lot of controversies going on. In fact, if Mother Earth is going to see from above or heaven, from there, if it sees, it will see why these human beings are split like this. In fact, we all human beings are one race actually. We are no different. We all are one race only, but we are divided among ourselves with all the different concepts of life, ideals of life, and then the faith what we follow. It's different, but still at the end of the day, if you ask a person who is going to die, probably is around 80 or 90 years, then when you ask, what did you learn in this universe? Definitely he will say it's beyond all this faith belief system. What he needs is he just needs that love. He needs that peace of mind. He needs that beautiful, blissful, the smile on your face, and the happiness around. This is what every human being from any walks of life, we all would like to have that. Now, in that way, what is happening? Is it so difficult for us to, split the situation and make as a united one team? This is what is all our terahertz is doing, is one world with one water device for every home. This is our basic motto, is everybody should have this device so that you become healthy. So imagine if your cells are healthier, then when you start sending a love vibration to your cells, automatically your cells definitely will function at a much more beautiful way than when there is a dehydrated. That means, for example, the cell is dehydrated and you're sending the love vibration to it. What will happen? The cell will cell back to say, please give me water first, then only I can even give you love. Because for it to function, it needs the water. Water plays a very, very, this is something which most of us don't look into. What we think is we are drinking water. Yes, we are all drinking water, but what are we doing is, as we go through, we will be able to look into it. Now, when you look at this animal kingdom, we call it as the animal kingdom because king is the highest authority on for whatever kingdom we are talking. King is the highest authority. Now, why do we call it as a human? We could have called it as human kingdom, right? But we don't call it as human kingdom. We call it as animal kingdom because we are no way different in the animal kingdom. We are a part of the animal kingdom. Only difference is we are much more evolved, supposed to be, but definitely that's a bigger question for all of us. The reason is we don't behave the way even animals behave. Every animal towards its own beings, it's something beautiful. If you look at, the best example I can give you is, when you look at the group of lion, for example, if there are 10 lions and they are looking at a prey, the three lions, the first three, the main people, the main lions, which will go for the hunting, those three guys, actually they don't, like a boardroom, they all don't go and sit and then decide how to attack the prey. They do so many things in the, and we do so many things in a board meeting for us to decide. Whereas an animal, what it does is, it just sends the signal to the whatever the number of lions going to attack the prey is. It focuses the prey. Now, if you look at the prey, there will be hundreds of prey, but it will focus the prey which is much more weaker. Number one. Number two, the three will start, the center one will attack the prey, the remaining two will cover the whole area for it so that the prey doesn't escape. Now, the remaining seven lions, what they do is they will be also covering up to the total this one, and then they go attack the prey. Now, when you look at in an animal kingdom, they all work together. Now, whereas we human beings, how many of us can work together in the same way? Why is that we are not able to even, we say good morning to our neighbors also, we feel so difficult because even if you say, they may not respond, or if they say you don't respond. Now, this is something in an animal, in our animal kingdom, we human beings have segregated and separated ourselves from the basic situation where we are supposed to love each other, spread the love to every being, irrespective, even to the animals we are supposed to love. Whereas we as a species, we have lost all our basic instincts. We have lost it. Whereas you take any animal, it still has its basic instincts of whatever it is supposed to do, it will do. And the most beautiful part is the only species we have is the human beings. We need to be that lovable person. Now, this we all had as a baby, and we can express it very beautifully. You just imagine a baby smiling at you, a small baby smiles at you, you feel so nice. But when we become an adult, what happens is we fail to even give a smile. We fail. Why is that? Because We have been ingrained with too much of hatredness or too much of worries, too much of the futures, what is going to happen. No, there is a lot of mind games being played around with our medias there. So we cannot get into the media also too much. And the very basic necessity for our existence is being in love every moment. That means today you're all here sitting here, and now I can see almost 114 people. Now just imagine that if every one of you feel that this beautiful platform of our terahertz device and the what we are discussing is a beautiful moment and it's a gift. Now, when we look at that, we feel loved by ourselves. Then automatically what happens, we'll become enthusiastic in learning more information and then picking it up. Now, there is something little different between us and the animals is we can exhibit our divine love with the fellow beings. Divine love is very, very unconditional. It is universal. There is no hidden agendas in the divine love when you are going to exhibit that. This is only we human beings can exhibit. But on the other side, there is something called the materialistic love. It is something we are all entangled, and the most difficult situation for every human being, and this is something in practically you will say, is comparing. Now, comparing is something is a human trait, it will all we are so much trained in our mind that we want to compare one with another. Yes, you can compare, there's nothing wrong, I'm not telling you are not supposed to compare. But when we start comparing everything and everything under the sun, what will happen is you won't know where to stop your comparison. There is no end for it. It is like a comparison to the infinity. Now when it is to infinity, what you're going to do, where are you going to put a full stop? Every other day someone will come and talk to you about another new product and talk to you about, hey, this is much better than this. Of course, with terahertz water there will be other people also talking about other waters which will say this is much more better than terahertz water. It is a possibility we all need to understand. It's okay, because every human being and every company has the basic right that they can bring their own product, they can come out with their product to sell to the people. Now it is our duty that what we need to do is, what is enough, we need to decide this is enough. Okay, fine, this is information, what they have given me is good enough, I pick it up. That's it. Now if you're not going to pick it up, okay, you think our company will send you a legal notice saying you didn't buy the device from us, that's why we are suing you legally? No. It's something so beautiful. That means we all have an have the ability to journey wherein we are talking about the divine love and the materialistic love. We need to understand that divine love is something very beautiful. We all need to exhibit that. Now, when you have a divine love and when you are drinking the terahertz water, also, what will happen is it augments. As I go through the slides, you will start seeing how I can correlate this so beautiful. Now, we all need to get back to our original model. We have something called the original model is a baby's model. So what we need to do is what we need to do, get back. It doesn't mean baby's one, but the most beautiful part is the fullness of joy within the babies, the peace within the babies, and the unperturbed by the outside issues. Have you ever seen babies? They are not bothered about what's happening outside. You can switch on the TV, you can switch on the radio, you can put on music, anything you do. The baby is just, it will be in its own world. And the most beautiful part is the baby is full love and it will be in always a blissful state. Have you ever seen the small babies getting angry? Yes, they can get angry because it's we who teach them how to be angry. It's we who teach them. Actually, they don't realize what is anger by themselves. It is we who teach. So what happens is, this is what we are actually conditioning our children also by doing things, saying you shouldn't do this, you are supposed to be like this, you have to do like this, and all this disciplining we do. It is good. See, conditioning is sometimes, I would say, definitely, like for example, you need to take the child and go to school, of course, morning 9 o'clock, and then pick them at 2 o'clock. Yes, that is a discipline conditioning needed. But there are something which we need to go a little bit beyond, that is where we need to teach them the human values, which is very, very important. When you're looking at the human values, once we all are blooming with the love within ourselves. Now when we start blooming with love within ourselves, now what will happen? Definitely you cannot hide it, isn't it? Nobody can hide a love within yourself. If you are having that fullness of love within you, what will happen? You will start smiling. You'll start exhibiting that beautiful feature, which is your original quality. You can call it as a divineness within you. You can call it as the universal consciousness within you. So what happens? The moment you are happy, automatically you want to care, you want to share, it will automatically happen. Now, whenever we are doing the caring and sharing, what will happen is very important is you should never have in your mind that you want to sell something. No human being should feel that you are selling something. They should feel that you are caring and sharing for them. That's it. Now, once you do that, they will understand by themselves that whatever the device we are talking, whether the sterilized device or the water, they will decide what is good for them. But you should leave the ball in their court for them to decide what is good for them. It's always beautiful. But from your side, you need to do it with a full unconditional love, and you need to see to that you get all the information what is necessary for you to speak about the terahertz water or the device. Speak to your leaders, speak to the concerned person, and then what happens is when you're equipped with the right information and knowledge, when you share with the people, definitely they will feel confident that what you are talking is not like a salesman. Because in today's world, nobody likes a salesman for the reason that the moment they open their mouth, they know they want to push you the product. But what you need to do is you need to share them what is so beautiful about this water. The moment you start telling that, automatically they will know what to do. So we don't need to. Now what we need to understand is when every cell is been filled with love vibration inside, what happens? It has to break the chain of the hatredness or the being separatedness. All this will break through, and then of course you will start flying like a beautiful pigeon or the white pigeon, which is peace. Now this has to come out from yourself. You need to do that, because love vibration has so much of power within itself that it can break the hatredness or not belongingness to the other people. All these will be clear. It will be just the universal love. Now when once that is achieved within you, automatically you will be able to become a beautiful human being. It's an automatic. Now what happened when there is full of love blossoming with you? The peace within you starts to build up. This is something very beautiful. You will be at peace. A person who is filled with full of love, it can be Buddha, it can be Jesus, it can be any other saints whom we take as the pillars for our journey, and we believe that they have attained enlightenment. Now, the moment they exhibit that love, automatically they exhibit the peace also. It's an automatic phenomena. So what happens when you are in peace? On the left side, what you see, there is an alignment happening. What kind of alignment are we talking about? You see those beautiful pebbles standing one above the other so beautifully. It is like alignment. So the same way, there are a lot of things within ourselves start aligning. Our confusion starts becoming clearer. Our mind, which is so confused whether to buy or not, whether to do this or not, whether to drink the water or not, all the confusion will go away, and then okay, fine, let me do. And of course, when you're in peace, you will be amused to see that the amusement, what I'm talking is, you will see that everything starts happening on its own. You don't need to do anything. This I'm experiencing in my journey of life. Everything starts happening automatically, as though someone is doing it for you. Now, do you think that is so beautiful if everything happens according to you? Like, for example, you just wake up in the morning and then probably you need 100 ringgits and you have the 100 ringgits in your bank. Oh, fantastic, isn't it? Of course, yesterday night when you were sleeping, you didn't have the 100 ringgits in your bank, but today morning you have it. Now, what is that 100 ringgits used for? For whatever you need it, it is there. So, whatever you need, it is when it is sufficient for you to run your life. Why do you want to go behind something which is not there? So, need and want are two different things. So, you need to understand what you need, and you need to draw a line where you need to say, I don't want. You need to do that. Now, saying that, what happens? Being at peace is every beautiful human being's wish. Now, just by wishing, may you attain peace. I also wish, may you attain peace. You think you will attain peace? No. To attain peace, it's you who have to work for it. Now, to work for it, what you need to become a lovable person. So that's where the love becomes a basic tool for us to attain peace. Now, to attain this beautiful love, of course, these are all beautiful practices, what you need to do, everyday practice. You need to become calm, basically, and you need to love everything you do, irrespective of what you are doing. You have to love what you do. But at the end of the day, when you do something, of course, it shouldn't harm the other person. It shouldn't harm yourself as well. So this is where you need to delineate what you're doing. So being at peace plays a very, very important role in your life, and that's when we all need to start working on it now. To augment, that means to boost the love and peace, we must hydrate ourselves. Of course, this is something which is very, very important, because most of us are dehydrated. Now, if you're talking about Malaysian population, we are almost 30 million population in Malaysia. Now, how many devices has been sold? Probably around 25,000, Brian, almost 25 to 30,000 of units we would have sold. How many? Probably, even if it is 25 or 30,000, but compared to the 3 million population, 30 million population, we still have a long way to go to, a lot more people to buy that device. So in that way, this water plays a very, very important role. Why? Because when the water amount, or you can call it as hydration, is sufficient in your cells will start doing its work on its own. Now, this is where we as human beings, what you need to do, being wise is a choice of every human being. You need to be wise in what you do. Now, when you're talking about wise, what you need to understand is very, very important. There is always loads of information. This is something which you will agree with me, that a lot of information from anything and everything on the internet, it is there. But is all the information correct? But there is something so beautiful. Huh? Today, if you're taking today, whatever has to come to you will come to you. That is 100% now. Whatever should go away from you will leave you and go. You cannot avoid it. For example, what happened was, in the past 20 years, I had a person who was like a godmother for me, a very lovable person. She was 82 years, and last week she got admitted in the hospital. And yesterday at 8 p.m., she passed away. Now you imagine, the amount of agony and pain I was going through since yesterday night after hearing. I couldn't even go because of the COVID situation. I think they blocked everybody. They told only 2 people or 3 people can come for the funeral. There was a lot of restrictions. It is such a sad situation. Now, even if I had wished that this mom of mine should have lived for another 10 years, 15 years, I would have wished for it. But what happens? The time had come for her and she left. So what is beautiful is nothing is permanent in our life. The only thing what is permanent, or what I can say is the truth of life, is this moment of life is very, very important for us. That means this moment at this time of around 8:30, we are all joined here to attend this beautiful Zoom meeting. That is something which we are all enjoying this. So there is something in the moment. So let's go into the moment of life, and then in that way we need to be thankful to this organizer who has been very grateful, especially to George, who has been an instrument in bringing this instrument. And of course we have a loads of beautiful souls who are working hand in hand to help more people, and to bring in the information to more people. They are all working day in and out. So seeing this, what happens, we need to work at the, once again, when I'm talking about cellular health, of course it has to be the key for your health. So if water has to go into your cell, you need to drink the right kind of water. Of course there are a lot of investigations where we can do and then get to know where, like the epigenetic hair analysis, the bioresonance, microcirculation, live blood circulation, hunter bioresonance. There are a lot of things we all can do to check what is happening at your cellular level. But more than that, today we need to understand that just drinking water can help you in many, many ways. So what you need to understand is, instead of going directly onto the terrace water, let us assume what you need to do. You need to drink a potable water. This is very, very important. What is a potable water is, it should have a pH of between 7.5 to 8, and your total dissolved solvents, that is called TDS, in a short form, it should be around between 50 to 200. It is always plus, plus, that means 50 to 200. It can go up to 200, we still accept it. But WHO says up to maximum 500 of TDS is still acceptable. But I would say no. If you're looking at cellular health, it should be 200 is good enough. Because if the total dissolved solvents in your water is too high, it will become too toxic for you and it will be a burden on your kidneys, which is not good for your kidneys. So this is where you need to be a little careful when you're talking about the TDS. But these are all basic things. You all can buy the TDS, and even in Lazada or Shopee, you can buy to check your TDS of your water. So ultimately, your filtration system plays a very, very important role. Then comes your ORP. Now, ORP is something what is called oxidation reduction potential. ORP. That means it's like something like someone is there to donate one oxygen molecule. It's something like that. Now this always goes in minus, not plus. It's like the negative ions, which is very, very important for our health, whereas positive ions are, which is like your radiation from your television, your mobile phones, your sun radiation, all these are all plus plus. You're talking about the negative ions is something like Himalayan salt, when you go near a forest, when you walk on a grass, they emit negative ions. So negative ions is something even plants emit negative ions. So we need to have a balance between the positive and the negative ions. So in fact, we have more negative ions is better for us. So in that way, whatever food you're eating, most of the time will be plus. That means more acidic. You can call it as an acidic environment. Now imagine if you're going to eat a lot of oily food, fried food, and you're going to eat all the processed food, and you eat always on the rest in the restaurant, and then you're going to, because of course today is no choice, we are forced to have our food outside, but still I would say you can choose what you want to eat. So in that way, choose what is more appropriate, not too much of a acidic environmental food. You need to avoid it. So this is where the ORP comes in. Now ORP is something wherein the best example I can give you is if you have an ionized water, like where they can split the water into alkaline and acidic, the more pH, that means if your pH is between 9.5 to 10.5 or 11.5, your ORP will go minus. So the ORP can go up to minus 1000. So there are situations where you can treat cancer patients with minus 1000 ORP. That means very high pH of around 12.5 to 13. People have tried it actually. So ORP is something very, very important also. So your water, if it can have minus 50 to 100 or 200, minus 200 number, when you check with your ORP meter, it's good enough. But if it is plus, that means you're consuming more of acidic food. In that way, the best example, you are like a Pepsi or your Coca-Cola, aerated drink. You can take any aerated drink, just check the ORP, it will be plus 500 and above. That means it's very, very acidic. So acidic is normally they use it for cleaning purposes, right? So for your body cannot be taking too much of acidic food for a very long time. So just be careful in what you are eating. It's not only just water. Drinking water is important. You need to see what food you are eating as well. Now, coming back to the fourth important bit, your water should be very clean from bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Very, very important. That means please do not drink directly from the tap water. You cannot. But there are a lot of people who are probably still drinking the direct tap water because they don't have a facility for using a filtration system. But my humble request to every one of you, please invest at least 100, 200 ringgits or 300 ringgits to buy a small filtration system, at least something to be filtered and drank. But if you're going to ask me, now you can earn how much ever money in your life, you can buy a big house, but at the end of the day, if your water piping, your water system is not clean, automatically it will affect your health in a long run. It will affect. And very important, can you see that you should not contain heavy metals and chemicals and pesticides? And how are you going to prevent all this? Now the only way is you need to buy a good filtration system. Today there are a lot of homes which are fixing more than two filtration system, outside two filtration system and inside one filtration system. They are fixing because the water is so much polluted, especially when you're living in a cities. So this is where you need to have what is an ideal drinking water is, these are the qualities you need to have. Now once you're talking about the ideal drinking water, then your tap water, of course, can you see the amount of poison inside the water, especially if you're talking about the tap water? Definitely, it is not safe for us to drink this water. And on the right side, you can see this is our Terahertz company's water filtration system. And in my home, I am also using, along with all the three filtration system, I have still final filtration will go out from this particular filtration system only. Now you can see the brown color there, right? Now just imagine this is the kind of water supply we are getting. What we need to do, we need to be smart and we need to see how else we can prevent drinking this kind of polluted water. So it is you who have to decide what kind of filters you need to put outside and inside is you need to do it. But the only criteria for you to use a resonated water or use terahertz devices, it should be a filtered and clean water, 100%. Only then you should resonate the water. Otherwise, please do not resonate a direct tap water. You will face more problem if you're going to resonate a direct tap water. So please be careful on this particular. So in 2022, there are a lot of competitions available with the water technologies. Now, whichever technology we are talking, it doesn't matter. Now it's you who have to decide what would be the best. But there are some good qualities which we are talking about in the technology is there are a lot of beautiful advantages. So terahertz technology is something where you can get it within 3 minutes. That's the most beautiful, faster. So that's an advantage for us because it's just a faster. And there are a lot of good things. What you can do is if you're looking at the terahertz resonated water, the waves are between the microwaves and the infrared. Now, this particular terahertz has been there in the market for almost 15 to 20 years. People have been talking, people have been doing a lot of research on this. But what happened is only in the past 5 years, a lot of things have been coming out in terms of terahertz usages. Terahertz is being used. Now, the beautiful part of the company here is this is the first company to come out with a terahertz device using it on a water. So now to resonate water. So ultimately what is happening is you are resonating a liquid. Water is a liquid. So you do can resonate any liquids. It's not just water alone. You can resonate even an oil, you can resonate. You can resonate alcohol. You can resonate milk. You can resonate your coffee. It's up to you. So resonating, this device can be used for as a multi-purpose. Now, what is so good about it? What is the this one, I have not done any research on this, but the company has given us all the beautiful, whatever requirement. What are the properties? What are the properties of this beautiful resonated water? It is antibacterial. It has got an antiviral. It has got antifungal. It has got antioxidant effect. Now, antioxidant effect is something where I was talking about the ORP, right? It gives one oxygen molecule. This is what is an advantage for us because definitely there will be an antioxidant means it can give one more oxygen molecule to you as you're drinking the water. Now you need to understand that just by drinking the water for maybe a week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 or 2 months, you may not see some difference. But the best possible situation is if this water can be consumed for a period of minimum of 3 months to 6 months continuously, you do can definitely see at the cellular level there will be a lot of changes happening and there will be a lot of good supportive situation for you to move forward. So in that way, I do see a lot of patients with kidney issues, like going for dialysis. But at the end of the day, when they are drinking the water for continuously for a very long time, they do see some beautiful benefits, and then they come out with their own testimonies, and that's nice to hear. But I always would say you need to work on it. That means each individual have to work on it. It has got the anti-radiation properties. Then we have the low viscosity. Then it increases the angulation. Now, not many of you all would know that the water molecule, like H2O, has an angulation, and which is between 103 to 1014. But the best way, but the best angle for the water would be is between 106 to 109. That is called a live water. Now, this information I picked it up in 2001. It's a long, long time ago. It's almost 21 years ago. I was reading about ozonated water. So that time I picked up this information that the angulation of water is between 106 to 109 is the best live water. So in that way, when the angulation increases, what happens is it makes your water a little softer. And when the water is soft, what happens is when your the mineral absorption would be definitely much better. And the most beautiful part is, for example, there is one the best example I can show you is, there are three huge fat people, fat people, probably more than 100 kgs, but the door is very small. So what happened is By the time these three people go inside the door and come out that side, it will take time, isn't it? Now, what we do is we make everybody slim, like probably 50 kgs, and they are very slim so that they can just walk into the door very easily. Now, what will happen is what these three people can do in whatever time we are talking, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. In the same time, we can actually, if people are thin, they will be able to go inside the same door, probably in numbers of 50s. That means more number of people. If three people are there, you can increase it. So in the same way, the absorption of this terahertz resonated water is 3 times more. So automatically that means the absorption. This I think many of you would have seen where our Eddie is doing the live blood analysis. When they do the live blood analysis, you can see within 20 minutes your cells are getting hydrated within 20 minutes. So that means there is a good absorption by your cells. This is something very, very beautiful. So that means what will happen if your cell, for example, there are 10 cells in your body. If only 3 cells are getting the water, now imagine the bigger molecule, only 3 cells can pick the water and it goes inside. The remaining 7 cells are still waiting for the water. It doesn't get the water. Now, so what is workload is only the 3 people who have taken the water, they'll be working, right? The remaining 7 people, because there is no water, they cannot work. But when you're drinking a resonated water, all the 10 cells can go get the water. So imagine all the 10 guys are working. So they will be working hard to get the glucose, get the information, get your nutrients, all this they will do. So automatically your BMR, this is what we call it as a basal metabolic rate. So when basal metabolic rate increases, that means your it's like your engine can work faster. Your engine can do more work. And then automatically you will feel hungry, you need more food, all this will happen. So automatically what we need to understand is we are increasing, and this is where you need to have a proper journey wherein you need to control how much you are eating, what kind of food you're eating. All this plays an important. It is not just drinking water alone has something to do with your health. Then, of course, the linear arrangement, as I was talking about the angulation, of course, the linear arrangement is basically they all stand in one line. That means it can penetrate. It supports your telomere in your DNA. These are all very, very deeper studies which has been done with the Schumann's energy of 7.83 frequency. It has been done. There are a lot of research done, and it does help to enhance your energy fields. If you see, even Brian was spraying the water on his face. So what's happening is he's enhancing his facial appearance to be more brighter. So automatically what happens is energy fields definitely looks better. And I have done a study wherein definitely the energy fields are much, much better. And there is something deeper. These guys, especially, I will show you who was that particular person. They have done a research at the DNA level. And when they give this live water to the cells, the cell DNA can change whatever information it has picked up previously. It can clear it and then rewrite your whatever messages it has taken. So that means rewriting the wrong information and correct it is a possibility while drinking this water can happen. But at the end of the day, it's just not the water we are talking. There are a lot of other factors we need to understand. We need to work on all those factors, and then we need to move forward. And one of the most important factor you need to understand is your mind. You need to know how to balance your mind, how to keep your mind very clear and without confusion, no? Because many times you will see people with you, especially in a network marketing or in a direct selling marketing. They will try to convince you first. If they cannot convince you first, they will confuse you. Now, the moment you get confused, you don't know what to do. So what you will do, you will automatically suddenly say, okay, I want the product, and you will take the product and you will move forward. So don't get confused. Very important. And don't get convinced also. Convince, I would say you need to get the right information. Convincing is not the word I would use. I would use get all the right information about whatever you want to do, whatever product they are talking. Get the information first. This is very important. But of course, when you're talking about a salesman, the way they talk will be so impressive that you feel like, taking out your purse and then swiping your card and then buying the instrument. It's like that. That's the way a salesman is trained. But in reality, we are not salesmen, right? In reality, you and I are not salesmen. What we need to understand is, let's be a beautiful human being. Let's get all the information, and the moment what is good for you, you can share it with anybody under the sun. So do that. So automatically people will go for it. Automatically people will buy the product. You don't need to even tell them that you buy the product. They will only call you and they will tell you, okay, fine, I need the product. Now, connecting back to the nature is awareness. So you need to be aware that the low frequency oscillation now here is between 0.5 to 15 hertz. And the living cells also resonate between 0.3 to 13 hertz, and our brain cells from 0.3 to 30. Now, our terahertz resonate after resonating the water is 7.6, something all between the light frequency, right? So this is where you need to understand that if the frequency of the whatever you're consuming is the same as your cells, they will talk to each other. There is a specific word called coherence, coherence. Coherence. That means they can speak together in the same language. Now, when they speak in the same language, they understand what they speak with each other. So that means both two cells, if they are going to communicate with each other, they need to have the same vibration, isn't it? So that means with the 50 trillion cells in your body and with the terahertz resonated water, you make things possible for your cells to communicate much more beautifully. Now, after they start communicating, then they will, of course, ask you, sir, I also need some vitamins. I also need some protein. I also need some carbohydrate. I also need some glucose. All this will be there. So we need to look at from a bigger picture. So drinking water is one part. Then the other part. Then do you go for regular exercise? Because regular exercise will throw away all the, it's one of the ways of detoxification. Now you need to detox your body in different ways. One is regular exercise. Your bowel movements has to be regular. So you need to do detoxing of your bowels also once in a while so that it clean. So there are so many things we need to do. Your mind also needs probably a detox in terms of listening to some beautiful talk where people talk about love, people talk about peace, people talk about meditation, people talk about breathing. All these we need to. It's a medicine for your mind. So like that, you need to look at every part of it. Okay, fine. We all know about terrace water. What is the main benefits when you drink a terrace water? Very simple, easy absorption. See, this is not a rocket science we are talking. It's very easy to understand. When you talk to people, you need to let them know that it's easy absorption. Now, if the water goes inside, don't you think that it's more easy for the toxic waste materials to come out of the body also? Yes, it is. Now, on the other side, hydration of the cells can be easy because the water goes inside. There is a good hydration. Automatically, it's good. Now, better absorption of nutrients, better absorption of oxygen, better absorption of nutrients. As I told, it can be all the trace elements, nutrients. It can be anything. All these will happen. Now, what happens when you do all this? What will happen? Automatically, there is a benefit you get. Better healthy cells, better function of your cells, better control of diseases. Now, this is a word you all need to please understand. Better control of disease. We are not talking curing of disease. We are not talking. But if by chance your glucose level is so normal that you have stopped taking medication for diabetes, it's good for you. That's it. But that doesn't mean that it will hold good for the whole group of people where they drink water and diabetes is totally gone. Now, if you have an illness, what you need to do, you need to go into wellness. That's it. Now, wellness is it's a concept where it's a holistic approach. It's a total. It's not just one. So in that way, illness has one I, right? I means your single self, whereas wellness is we. That means many. So you need to understand that when you want to get into wellness, there are many factors which plays a very important role other than drinking water for you to move forward. So please understand this. And then when you're letting know people, there are a lot of beautiful things you need to share also. Now, what is the advantages? Of course, it can be boiled, it can be put under pressure, it can be kept in a glass container for more than 6 weeks. Certification is we have. And of course, I would recommend that please keep it in a glass jug or your own terrace jug, which is given to you. But avoid keeping it in metal like copper vessels for a very long time. The reason is the once the alignment and the once the resonated water is left in the thing, there can be a little bit of magnetic variation in the thing, and it can disturb the molecular structure. That is the reason company has advised you not to use a metal containers. But other than that, what you need to avoid is, of course, on the right side, what you see, keeping it in a metal containers, exposing them. Here, I wish to share something very important to most of you is Avoid buying the cheap plastic bottles, plastic, especially the 5 liters or 2 liters plastic containers, and then fill the water and resonate the water, because the quality of the water is definitely good. And then the company has made all the research and studies wherein they feel that our silicone infused jug is a better container when you're talking about resonating your water. So always resonate the water, and then if at all you want to store it in a container or you want to give it to someone, please look in for a food grade plastic containers wherein it can be 5 liters or 10 liters. It is little expensive, but look in for that and then start looking and start buying those kind of water, if at all, if you're thinking of keeping it for a little longer period than required, or you want to keep it in your car and take it and to give it to your friends. Looking for a food grade plastic, because I think we are having enough of problems right now in the environmental, with a lot of plastics being disposed, and that, and even in the human bodies there are microplastics. It's called microplastic. Is been seen in the past 3 to 4 months. But this will go on be there, information coming into you that, suddenly they will say a lot of metal is there. But I would say we have enough of poisoning for our body, from the air, from the water, from the food we eat. Everywhere there is a poison in. And one of the deadliest poison for all the human beings is the plastics what we use. And the craziest thing I still always feel is, there is a situation where you are not supposed to use plastic. So you go to any shop, they will say you are not supposed to use plastic. We agree with that. But finally, what will say, you buggy 2 20 cents you pay, and then they will give, once again, they are giving you the same plastic. It looks so ridiculous actually, that you are giving the same plastic, but they are selling for you for 20 cents. And then finally, what? Instead of that, they can actually look for paper bags, and there are a lot of other ways to, you can carry cloth bags. Now, this is where you and I have to take some responsibility to see to that. Let's see what we can do in whatever little ways we can do. Avoid using as far as possible plastic contained materials, and then we need to go further with a good food grade. What is the take home message is, of course, water plays a very, very important role. When you consume the water at the right amount, and then when you start working for the love within yourself to bring in the love of what you are for the purpose as a human being, peace will be restored within you automatically. So when this is happening, automatically you will be able to, the triangle of love, peace and water takes place, wherein we all can join together to do something to move forward. Now, saying that, of course, who can drink? There are a lot of things. Water must be pre-filtered. If you have a reverse osmosis, you need to have add mineral. And if you have a ionized, I would preferably 8 to 8.5 pH is good enough. So there are a lot of good things where you need to look into when you want to resonate water. And you cannot, of course, direct tap water you cannot. And if you do not know the water source, please don't resonate contaminated water with bacteria. If you suspect, don't do. Even a boiled water from tap water is not advisable for you to resonate. So this is what you need to do. Who can drink water? Every human being definitely has to drink water. There is no contraindication. That means this person cannot drink. There is nothing like that, because we all drink water. The only thing is, just add on the terrace water into your system slowly and let the body adapt and help itself. So for it to adapt, you need to drink, start with 250 ml to 500 ml and daily, over a period of 1 week to 2 weeks, and increase. And especially with people with diseases, you need to consult your doctors, and who is able to adjust the dosage of the water accordingly and move forward. Thinking out of the box, this is what I was telling you. This guy, Dr. Luc Montagnier, is a Nobel laureate. What he did is, he has dissolved the bacteria DNA and the water and resonated with low frequency Schumann's energy. Now, this research has been done, and he found that the DNA could be reconstructed. But the moment he removed the Schumann's energy, they failed to retain the DNA information. So this is something very beautiful, because the terahertz water is 7.6 hertz, which is only a very little lesser than the 7.83, but definitely it is all within the range of our natural living cells. So what you need to is, you need to love thyself to attain peace. You have to then augment with the terahertz water for you to move forward. Saying this, of course, it's not a medical device. And until we meet again, Thank you very much. And thank you all the Singapore guys who are supporting from there, and then India and Malaysia. I have a lot of people using the terahertz device. And thank you, Brian, for being our MC today. And I hope I've given enough of information regarding the triangle of love, peace, and water. And looking forward to see you once again next week with another heading. Thank you.
Thanks, Doctor. Thanks, Doctor, for fantastic sharing. So we have full of knowledge. Okay, from every week with a different topic. Okay,
Okay.
every week different knowledge we have learned. Then there's some question here. So for the first one is from this gun. Doctor, this is a gun. I've been trying this water,
Okay.
okay, for 2 weeks. Last week I start feel dizzy when I change my sleep position. So is it the water's healing process or what, doctor?
Okay. If you look at the situation here, anybody consuming this water, all the while we have been consuming a water molecule which is bigger. Okay. Now what you're doing is you're giving a smaller molecule. Now just imagine your cells are going to speak to you. Now the cells will be asking you, hey man, you have been drinking the bigger molecule water all the while, and suddenly you change the smaller molecule. So what should I do? So what happens is it cannot do anything but to take the water and then start utilizing it. Now, when you are drinking this water, there is a little bit of dilution happening, blood thinning. You can call it as there will be a little bit dilution, and there is a little blood flow to all the peripheries. And what happens is there can be a slight blood pressure coming down. Now, when there is a blood pressure coming down, also you can feel giddy. This is one of the dizziness I'm talking. I'm not real because I have not seen the person directly, because there are many reasons. On this Zoom platform, we won't be able to discuss and then say an answer for one particular question. But I'm just looking at possibilities. Now, the second possibility is the sugar levels can go a little bit low because, as I told you, the basal metabolic rate of your cells increase. Like three cells are working, now suddenly 10 cells are working. If 10 cells are working, they will start absorbing the glucose. So you still can feel a little bit dizzy. Now, other than that, if you look at your nutrients may not be sufficient. One of the very common nutrients which we lack is potassium, which is very easy. So when there is a lack of potassium, also you will feel dizzy. It's like somewhere like situation where it will be a little uneasy. But what you will think is, hey, I'm drinking this water. Suddenly, why am I getting dizziness? All the while, I never got dizzy. It's not because of the water. Your body is trying to adapt to this water, but you need to understand that your body is something so beautiful that it will do what it has to do, but you need to do what it has to do. Have you done, for example, proper nutritional assessment, regular exercise, regular breathing, all these if you have done, and then suddenly you're drinking this water, your body, see, in my case, I didn't have any problem at all. Right from day one drinking this water, I never faced any problem. And I do have a lot of people who are drinking this water, they don't have any issues. So here, what I would request this gentleman is, uh, if at all you want more information, do call me so that I need more questions to be asked, and then I can guide him as to what are the additional support he can do. But for now, number one, what he can do is he can actually add on a little bit of ORS. ORS you can buy from any pharmacy, oral rehydration salt. Just mix it in water and drink. This is one way, number one. Number two, you can just drink, add on tender coconut. Simple. Just add on tender coconut to you. Now, other than that, I do not know whether he has diabetes, whether he has heart issue, whether he has a blood pressure. I do not know. So it will be a little more deeper if they are going to have some diseases and they are consuming. I would like to talk to them, and then definitely will guide them as to what they need to do. And especially people with post stenting, what they have operation, if they have gone for stenting and all. Absolutely. See, one thing we need to understand is we all need to drink water 100%. We all need to drink water. Now, if at all, if you're talking about stenting, we cannot start directly terahertz water to these people. What you need to do, definitely we start with 250 ml. But if probably these people want to go for stenting, you may require to just stop the drinking the water for 1 or 2 days before you go for your whatever procedure, finish off your surgical procedures, then come back give a body to 3 to 5 days for it to heal itself slowly, and then you start introducing. Once again, it's the same situation. You need to take start with 250 ml, slowly increase it, let your body adapt. Because especially surgical interventions, your body goes through a lot of stress. When the body goes through a lot of stress, it will react. So you need to always make the body to respond and not to react. So you have to be a little careful, because your body will only react to it, because it cannot tell you don't drink this water, don't do this. It cannot tell, it will only react to you. So you have to have a little balanced this one. That's where we are all there. We all need to get along, and then probably give a call, and then I would be able to help you.
All right. Thanks, doctor. And I, mostly every time they ask me, they have this issue, and then after drinks our terrace water, there's no any, how to say, no any effect. Okay, first of all, I will ask them, how many liters do you drink?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the most important. How many liters do you drink? Then for the secondly, they say I spray a lot, I spray a lot. Then I will ask, you spray how many times a day? One time they will feel a lot. So that's not the way. Just spray one time, you feel you want it will become more beautiful or more handsome. It's impossible. If I say this is works, then I will tell you this is not the truth. All right. So the second question,
There's a
doctor,
person
is,
asking for kidney issues where you can drink Tara's water. Definitely, Tara's water will help the situation where, because kidney is the only area where it is affected. But I always have been repeatedly telling that, how about the heart, your brain, your other organs? They also need water, isn't it? So how are you going to substantiate? Definitely, you need water. So drinking Tara's water is not at all a problem. You need to take, probably if you're going to advise for renal failure patient, just be careful. Do not blindly go on telling, come on, drink 3 liters. Oh, cannot. You need to be very slow. You need to probably mix normal water with the terrace water, slowly see how this body adapts, and then you can. I have patients with me where they are all going in for dialysis, but can you believe most of them are going only weekly once dialysis, and normally they go for 3 weeks. But all my patients with terrace water, they go only once a week. So for whole week, they're able to balance. But of course, I do not know whether we can reverse the kidney disease, is a big question mark, because their kidney, I do not know how it is going to recoup back. We do not know. But our aim is, can we make you more healthier? In that way, drinking this water and then taking care of your food habits, taking care of your day-to-day activities plays a very, very important role. So definitely they can drink.
all right. So there's another one here, doctor. Um, is from Jay. Oh, a minute. I think. mm, Yeah, here you go. Yes, spray THZ water to our skin is good, but sometimes it itchy.
Hey, can you believe, Brian? Today morning only, I was just thinking of the situation. See, I was doing my exercise, and then after the exercise, I was feeling a little bit itchy. Then I was thinking, why is that? The detox mechanism, all the salts, extra uric acid, your salts you spray the water, definitely that particular area, your cells gets hydrated. The moment the cell gets hydrated, it will do its little bit of detoxification, isn't it? So detoxification means, of course, the unwanted salt it will throw out, definitely. So you will feel like scratching, but these are all only in the initial stages. But now there is something you did with your hydration. Fine, very good. You're spraying, right? But maybe your skin needs a little bit of moisturizing lotion. Maybe, I do not know. So that time, please use moisturizing lotion for your skin. That is how you will be able to compensate. Just by spraying alone, we expect some miracles to happen. May not be a way, actually. So see, depend. Like for example, if you are a person who is eating a lot of oily food, non-vegetarian process, of course there are a lot of little detoxing happening in your body. It will happen. So the only way for you drinking terrace water, spraying terrace water, balancing your diet. All this will play a very, very important role in our healthy lifestyle. I think these questions you should answer, Brian. The 5 liter water can be kept for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. That is, you can answer. I think you need to
Because
have some discussion where you need to let them know.
yeah. Because like this two this question, can terahertz water still be drink after keep in 5 liter mineral water for a month? Okay, we advise we drinks fresh water. Okay, we daily have fresh water if like some people's like they are not capable to purchase our this device, right? Okay, so mostly we advise that the bottle of water is better to drink within 1 week is better
Absolutely.
within 1 week.
Absolutely. No, unless it's beyond their choice that they don't have any choice,
Yes,
they need to store the water, please store the water. But I would prefer they should buy a food grade container, please. Very, very
yes,
important. What you can do is, at least at home, please have a beautiful glass container. Now, there are a lot of glass containers with 5 liters, 10 liters available. So the moment you carry the water, whatever with your devices, now all comes with the plastics only. So once you resonate, please take it and transfer it onto a glass container or a bigger container. Is always better actually.
all right, okay, so I think this one is this one, doctor.
Irritable bowel syndrome, drinking carrots and sweat, and you're still getting bloated, gassy stomach along with the short breath of breath. Okay, fine. Now, no, see, I am really concerned with all these beautiful souls who really want some guidelines, and I'm very happy to give an answer for this beautiful soul. Thank you for asking this question. Now, number one, if you are talking about irritable bowel syndrome, the word irritable is what? We get irritated when something we don't like, right? When someone does something to us, we get irritated. Now, in the same way, your bowels are some, maybe your food. Now, what happens is it gets irritated. Now, for you to understand the irritable bowel syndrome, your gut needs approximately 30 to 35 vitamins, minerals, trace elements for the gut lining to be strong. So in an irritable bowel syndrome, this lining will not be strong. So now, just by drinking water, we cannot expect some improvement, isn't it? We are thinking that water has definitely it will absorb, but your mucous membrane inside the lining is not good. So we need to work on the lining of your gut system. Now, for that, I think this beautiful soul, if they can contact me, we have beautiful supportive tools to support the irritable bowel syndrome with a proper gut support vitamins. If they consume it for 2 to 3 months, they can see some amazing difference and amazing changes. It will be there. So we need to support the gut from a different angle.
All right, thanks, doctor.
Welcome.
Okay, so I think the another question I will answer it. Okay,
Thank
it
you.
how long is the best to resonate the water? Okay, our device every time we resonate the water is 3 minutes, and then our device can resonate 50,000 times. If let's say you resonate 10 times per day, the device can be used more than 10 years, provided your device don't drop. Okay, like last few days, I do drop my device, so I need to send back to company to help me to repair, and I need to pay the cost for repair. Okay, and don't drop into water. Okay, so provided don't drop on floor and don't drop into the water, and can take good care of the device. It can use more than 10 years. Okay, then another one is okay, her friends, okay, drinks terahertz water and then she expect to slim down, but her weight increased month to month. Is that because of the cell full of water and raise her weight? This one I think is after few months, okay, drink the water. Okay, if you keep on put on weight, I think for my point of view is I think something wrong inside, and then need to do a checkup, a body checkup, see which part of our body have any problems.
No, very important here. Your liver is the main area where we talk about fat metabolism. If your fat metabolism is not properly looked into, definitely just drinking water and wait, it is like, something it's a coincidence that you drink water and you put on weight. Actually, it doesn't happen like that. In fact, if you drink the water, you need to lose weight actually, because your metabolism increases, isn't it? But here it's the other way around. But so that means there is something your body is telling me, please look into my liver, or probably look into my intestine, something the body is telling me. So let them look into a little more deeper. Probably the body wants, as you said, they need to examine, probably go for a blood test or see a doctor.
Okay, all right. So I think for the last question, okay, this doctor.
I really do not know. I don't know what to answer this, because I do not know whether I have not seen it. Maybe Brian, have you seen it? Probably you can answer that.
This one I didn't see before. That's why I also can't answer it.
I think let them contact you and then see. You need to find out the details. Why is it happening? Probably we need to look into it. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to comment on it because I don't know. So let
Yeah,
them
yeah.
probably
We'll
need
take
to
notes on it.
just look into it.
Yeah, just we'll take note on this question. All right. So I think that's all for tonight. Okay. Thanks, doctor, to spend your time to share with us your fantastic sharing and topic. Okay. Thanks for all participants to spending your time here. All right. So if any further information, feel free to contact your introducer who introduced you to this Zoom. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Good night. See you all again next week.